Hi, it's Rachel. I'm back for another video and I've got my coffee. I'm in a different area than I normally film in. I'm usually in my kitchen, but it's such a disaster. Couldn't do that. So I have this cabinet somewhat clean, but I had to open the doors and hopefully the glare and the sun and hopefully everything will work out in this spot. So, I should have thought this through before I hit the record button. Okay, first I'm going to get the linen shop update stuff out of the way. I tend to ramble on, and give way too much information. So, last time I filmed a video, I had asked, because I have a long wait time on filling my linens, and I always forget to mention, it's called Needle and Flax. You can go to my website, needleandflax.com. That's where I sell it. It's also sold in needlework shops. But I've had a long wait. The demand is high. There are a lot of supply chain issues and, feeling bad about the wait time and all that with my customers. So I had asked, should I sort of change my business model? Should I, sell only wholesale where you just go through shops and then whatever's dyed is dyed? Do I list in my store only things that are dyed, and if it's sold out, it's sold out, so you just have to catch it? Or do I keep the dyed to order process and just the wait time's the wait time? So I asked everybody to comment, and I got overwhelmingly, I only got two comments, that wanted product already dyed. They didn't want to wait. Everybody else, overwhelmingly on YouTube, they messaged me on Instagram, they sent me emails, they messaged me through the store, that they want me to keep it as is. So I'm keeping it as is. It's dyed to order. There's a long wait time. I shut down the shop for 2 weeks to try and get caught up. I've made a lot of headway in the 2 weeks, but the wait time is still going to be, I'm putting it out as 4 to 6 weeks. So if your order has not shipped and it's been a month, it could be another week. It could be going out today. It could be going out Monday. It kind of depends on what you've ordered and what batches I have dyed, what I have coming up. I don't take each order like Sally Smith ordered this, this, and this, dye it and fill it. Of course, I do batches of things, and there's a whole way that it's done. So sometimes if you have a large order, if you have colors that I don't dye very often, you have a bit of a longer wait, and that's just the way it is. So, yeah, I think that's where I'm at. I'm going to, so basically here's the deal. If you want it, if you're not a waiter, if you're not very patient, or you have something very specific in mind that you want the linen for, you're going to have to go to the shops. If you just want it for your stash, or you just like a certain color and you want to, get a bunch of it, you're welcome to order from me. The wait times are going to vary. If I get the wait times cut down, I very well could announce that on my Instagram. Oh, wait time's down to 2 weeks or whatever. And it could change within a couple hours. I could get a slew of orders that, bump that right back up. So that's what it is. So all I'm going to say is I will update on here. I will update on Instagram. I will update on the top banner on my website, an approximate wait time. If I say it's 4 weeks and you hit 4 weeks in 2 days, it's approximate. There's some parts of this that you just can't rush. I can work long hour. The dyeing takes a certain amount of time and I can't speed that up. The drying takes a certain amount of time. I can't speed that up. The supply issues are totally out of my control. And it's not just linen, it's dye too. I'm having some issues with a couple of my colors. I'm having some issues with getting dye spots on my linens that has kind of ruined batches. And I have to start over. You know, I might have done like 15 yards of Steinbeck and a bunch of it has dye spots, and I got to go back and redo it. And so that can, you know, put a little hitch in things. And I don't know why. At first I thought maybe it was like the temperature change, but you know, you kind of keep that regulated when you're dyeing. You know, I use well water, and our ground is frozen now. So if you've never been on a well, when it's like winter and you turn on the faucet, that cold water, it's like ice water. So, you know, the temperature of my water, I've had to adjust a little bit and stuff. I think some of it's the dye, and the fabric I've been getting from Zweigart is way off. I can usually tell from the feel of touching fabric what the count is. You know, I handle so much of it. I've been getting 36 that's like gauze, that when it's wet, I can, you know, take a whole yard and just put it in a little teeny tiny bundle. It's so thin. I've gotten it where the fibers are so thick that it feels like a 32 or a 28. And I'm pulling it out of the packages and dyeing the right, you know, I'm not getting it mixed up, but there's really I've noticed big variances in what's coming out of this Zweigart factory. So that's, you know, I don't know what kind of issues they're having, but, so I have my shop shut down for 2 weeks, and I'm going to open it back up on Sunday. Let's see, it kind of cracked me up that on that last video, I said I'm going to shut down for 2 weeks. And then like everybody and their brother started ordering like crazy. So that brought my order numbers way up. I haven't even started any of the orders that were placed in January yet. Those will be started, those should be started at the beginning of next week. I'm pretty sure. And I noticed a lot of the ones in January, are smaller, or there's some that are just a couple of pieces. You know, I should be able to power through a lot of them pretty quick. Yeah, so I think that's it. Oh, okay. So I'm going to open up the shop with inventory, I think on Sunday. I'm going to try and update it a little bit tomorrow. I need to try and get better pictures on there of the linen, but it's really hard to do. I don't know if I'll have time to do that. I'm going to kind of categorize them into different, sort of like an aged category, a mottled, a solid, so that you know, they'll be in collections, I guess they call it on Shopify. You can make collections. What else? Oh, and I have 2 new colors that I'll show at the end that I'm going to add. That was another thing. I did a poll on Instagram, so I'll talk about that when I show the new colors. Yeah, so I got a lot done over the 2 weeks. I got time to take down my Christmas tree, and I had a few days this week where I wasn't feeling good, so I didn't get full days in. I think I was eating bad food. I was eating a soup that I had made, and I kind of connected it after the 3rd day, that every time I was eating my broccoli cheese soup, I was getting sick, not feeling well. So that's gone. That's gone. But for the last 3 days, I've been fine in the morning, and then I had such a horrible stomach ache, I've had to go lay down for a little bit. And so it kind of screwed up this week a little bit. But yeah, and I'm working all weekend. I'm gonna trying I'm working 7 days, so I'm gonna try in the next couple of weeks to get it to where maybe Sunday's only a half day, or I take Sunday off, because I really want to get I'm not getting enough stitching done. So that's it. I don't know if you have any questions, you know, ask me questions. If you want to check on an order, that's the other thing. I had said something about, you know, I had a couple stinkers, a couple people that gave me, they weren't even really customers. They were just people giving their opinion, which, you know, there's always some of those. I had quite a few people message me to check on their order, and they're like, I'm not trying to bother you or rush you, or, you know, I don't take those kind of messages as the ones that are stinkers. If you have an order in and you want to email me once a week to see where we're at, that's not a problem. I have no problem with that. So you can message me anytime and don't apologize if you want to see where you're at in the order process. But quite a few people were like almost scared to message me about their order. Like, I'm not rushing you. I'm not rushing you. Just, do you know where I'm at in the process? Are you close? Those messages are fine. That doesn't bug me. So you can message me anytime. And if I'm not close, I'll tell you I'm not close. A lot of times the people that send me those messages, they are my older orders. And so they tend to be ones that are either almost ready or have just been finished. Another thing is I'm only going to be shipping twice a week. So the last, I think 2 weeks, I did Tuesdays and Fridays, and that seems to be a pretty good schedule. If I'm going out, I may stop at the post office. You may see it posted and get your tracking number on days that aren't those 2 days, but just I'm committing to Tuesdays and Fridays as my shipping days. And I drive my stuff to the post office because our rural postal workers on my route they kind of suck. So same thing with UPS when I do my, some customer orders go out UPS if they're really big and heavy and it's cheaper and I'm making a trip there anyway. But I don't schedule pickups because it's just so, where I'm at, it's not consistent when they come, and sometimes it can delay it by, a day or two rather than just driving it in and doing it myself. So I don't schedule pickups. I do it myself. That's it. So yeah, I don't know if there's anything else. So I'm just going to talk about stitching. Oh, I need my coffee. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I did get a couple of, that's the other thing I want to try and do is I've been working till like 10 o'clock at night, which is like my bedtime. And I start from when I get up. So I actually start working probably about 5:30 in the morning, 5:30 to 6. And working all day until I go to bed. And I really want to try and knock off, which I did a couple of times over the last couple of weeks. And I'd like to start knocking it off a little earlier in the evening so that maybe during the week I can get maybe an hour of stitching at night. Because at 10 o'clock I'm just too tired. I just go straight to bed. So that's kind of my goal. I need some stitching therapy. I need me time. I need, I'm not burned out, but I don't want to get burned out. And I know that 7 days a week is not sustainable forever. And I don't plan on stopping the dyeing business at any time. There may be adjustments, but I'm in it for the long haul. So, and I got big plans for it. So, yeah, that's it. So, let's see. Where do I start? Oh, last time was my first video after Christmas, and I didn't show you. I had two kind of like haul things. Well, I bought myself Christmas gifts, and I kind of wanted to show you. One is stitching and one is not, but people might be interested. And I don't know where I put it. Okay. So first I bought myself, which I thought was cool, and I think a lot of stitchers that like old stuff would like this. But I did get myself an antique silhouette that I love. So this is my Christmas gift to myself. It was totally inexpensive. Well, inexpensive for a silhouette. They're not cheap. Yeah, and I love the girl with the hoop, and that hangs in my kitchen, and I love the old frame, and yeah, so I didn't show that. And then the other thing I got myself was from Total Framing, and they had posted on Instagram that they have someone that makes these seam rippers out of old silverware. And I had messaged them. It took a little bit to get back to me, and they sent me a picture of what they had left. And it's this. So it's old silverware, and it's just cut off with your seam ripper in it. And when I got it, I had ordered it before Christmas. And I think they were, like, for a Christmas thing, they were doing free shipping. They only had a few styles left when they first posted it. A lot of people bought them. So this is the one, I don't know if you can tell, that's the pattern I picked, which I really liked. I use, for our everyday silverware, I have all antique silverware. Well, it's like silver plated, you know, but I have all antique silverware and it's all mismatched. And I collect it. It's not really a collection. We actually use it, but it's all mismatched old patterns and stuff. And they had some patterns that we actually eat off of. So I was going to try and get one of those. This is a pattern that I do have also. So I thought these were cool. I do have to polish our silverware a lot. I tend to do it when I have house guests coming. So sometimes we're eating off tarnished silverware, but you know what? It's pretty and it's fun. And I find it at auctions and antique stores and estate sales and stuff. And I really like the patterns like from the I have a lot of turn of the century stuff, turn of the last century, and a lot of stuff from the 20s that I really like. Yeah, so this was right up my alley, and who knows, I make it another one. This one, the seam ripper gives out, you can actually take this out and replace your seam ripper. So this should last forever. And it comes in a velvet bag. I think they were 25 bucks. So I didn't think that was bad for a forever. We all use seam rippers, right? Okay, so, oh, and the other thing, in my last video, I showed this pattern, Sarah Sophia, and I wasn't sure how to say the last name. I had a couple comments. It's Haig. It's Haig, and I should have known that looking at it. As soon as someone commented on how to say it, I was like, of course. It's not like I've never seen or heard the name before, but I looked at it and I wanted to say hi, and it's Haig. Yeah, so now we all know how to say it. If you didn't know, you might have been thinking, Rachel, you're an idiot. Of course it's Haig. I don't know. I don't know any Haigs. I don't know. I don't even know what origin that name is, but whatever. So that's Sarah Sophia Haig, and she is on my list for this year at this moment to do. So what, I didn't buy any, well, okay. I bought some Scarlet letter charts. I'm trying to collect all the ones that I want to do in the rest of my lifetime. They have a huge catalog. So I did buy a couple of those, but I'm going to do a video where I show a lot of Scarlet letter. So I'm not going to show you that haul. I downloaded, Teresa Kogut released a PDF pattern this week using my Pickwick. And so I downloaded that pattern. It's a little small. She has a really cute picture. She finished it into a pillow, and she's doing a series of like biblical quotes and stuff. But that border and those colors, I'm going to stitch it. It's going to look really good on the gray. Pickwick is a gray, or, you know, any gray. Every dyer has grays. You don't have to use Pickwick, but I will. So that is on her Etsy site. I think she said she's taking down her Etsy site for a little bit to revamp it, but she's doing a Faith in Stitches series, and she had that, and it was super cute. So, you know, if you're religious, and I think that'd be cute bowl fillers to tuck. They're small. It's small. It's a small little pillow and not too long to stitch. So the other thing that I got, which I actually have already ordered more of, are these project bags. I thought I would try them out. They're It's So Emma zipper bags. They have 3 colors. They have green, red, and gray. And I ordered all 3, and then I just ordered 3 more because I actually really like them. They're really thick mesh. They have a honkin' crazy thick zipper, super thick, like industrial zipper. And they have the cute little leather tag that says It's So Emma. They're pretty big. They're bigger than I thought, which I like because you could actually put quite a few patterns in here. I still am keeping stuff in my plastic and they're not expensive. I think they're like 20 bucks. I think, I don't know. You'll have to look it up. They're not going to protect anything from water or spills because the mesh is really open, which is good. I mean, you know, air's getting in there, but they're not going to protect it from a spill or dropping chocolate on it or whatever. So I'm still keeping my stuff in the plastic bag inside. But they're really nice. And I crochet. I think these would be great for yarn too. They've got the square bottom so you could really stuff it out, or, you know, I only have one pattern, so I still kind of have it folded in. But even for traveling, you could take probably 3 or 4 projects in one of these. And they're nice. They're nice. I don't think they'll fall apart. I've gotten some of the other mesh bags like on Amazon and stuff, and they're really thin. They work great, but they kind of, I've had the zippers break and stuff. This zipper is not going anywhere. This sucker is big. So yeah, so I got all 3 of those, and I already put projects in them, and then I ordered 3 more. I think they're coming on Monday. So the only thing I worked on a little teeny tiny bit on 2 things. I worked a little bit on Elizabeth Cheatham by Scarlet Letter. I gotta hurry too. My son has a half day. And I got deliveries coming, and I've got I have 40 yards of fabric to iron and try and postage stuff and get out. So I gotta try and hurry this up a little bit. So on this one, all I did was, try and get this. I just went a little farther on my letters and the border. I didn't do any more of the berries, which I might do this week. I did the pink lettering. I did more of that yellow, and then I did more of the top border. Those berries are fun. They're juicy berries. They're big, fat, juicy berries. So it's kind of nice because it's just a solid one color. So it's fun to go across and do those chunks of red. So I did that, just a little tiny bit of Elizabeth Cheatham. That's a bit, it's wide. It's actually, you could do that on Ada, that pattern on Ada. There's satin stitches is the only specialty stitch. So actually, I don't know if you can do satin stitches on Ada. I would assume you could. I would assume you can. And then I did just a little tiny bit, a teeny tiny bit on Caroline Scott by Northumberland Sampler House. She has an Etsy shop, so it's PDFs. And I am doing this on 90s Nirvana by Needle and Flax, and I just did a little bit more on this this little motif here. That's it. This one's teeny tiny. I mean, teeny tiny. It's a small sampler, so if I actually get a nice chunk of time, I think I could make some progress on it. I just haven't had stitching time. Oh, and I did, no, did I? Yes, I did. I did work a little bit on a Hands Across the Sea, which I'll show you. So last time I had said I wanted to do, I like when other YouTubers do themes and designer, like Brenda and Laura call it designer spotlight. So I like when they do that. And so I had said I wanted to do, a couple times I said I wanted to do a Hands Across the Sea because they're my favorite. And then Brenda and Laura's last video, I was so excited because Laura had posted on Instagram a picture before they posted their video of all these Hands Across the Sea. And I'm like, oh, they're doing Hands Across the Sea. And sure as shoot, they were. So they did a designer parade because they had never done one on Hands Across the Sea. So they showed all their Hands Across the Sea. Laura had a couple of starts. They pretty much did like a flash of all the patterns. And they had said that they got the idea, from watching when I had said that, they realized, oh, we didn't do one of those. Let's go ahead and do it. So that was pretty fun. That was a great video. If you haven't watched it, go watch Brenda and the Cereal Starter, and they do a Hands Across the Sea. Even though they just did one, I'm going to do one too. You know, we're not, my middle daughter used to say, don't be a coffee cat. We're not coffee catting each other. I'm going to do mine a little different, but they're both, you know, we're all kind of doing the same thing, stitching the same stuff, and it's fun to see everybody's take on stuff and why they pick stuff and what they like and what their plans are. So I'm going to do a Hands Across the Sea whip parade and charts that I have that I like and a little bit about why I like them. So let's see, I'm at 25 minutes. Another sip of coffee. Okay, I don't have a lot of finished Hands Across the Sea. They tend to be big. They started doing their little gems, which are small samplers during the pandemic, and they were PDF, and they've started to release those in booklet form, so they now have a lot of small charts. When I started buying them, they didn't have very many charts at all. They had like 5 charts when I started buying them. And everything they produced was really big, serious samplers. And now there's a really nice mix. There's a lot of them that don't have specialty stitches for Ada stitchers. There's versions you can buy that are made for linen stitchers that have specialty stitches. And then Nicola Parkman from Hands Across the Sea has also charted versions for people that don't work on linen, that can't do all those stitches or don't want to. So there's a lot to choose from now. So if you like samplers and you haven't bought one, I think there's probably something for everybody. There's complicated, not complicated, big, little, medium, all of it. Yeah, so I'll show you my couple of finishes. Okay, so the first little gem I did was Sarah Spencer. And of course I have glare, and you can probably see all of my junk in the glare of my, there, I'm going to do that. I still have a little Christmas. I just saw I have a little tiny like Christmas tree that has been plugged in, and there's nothing on it. It's in like a Peterborough basket next to my stairs. It's still plugged in with lights. I don't consider that my Christmas tree. I can see it in the glare of the glass. So I did this on Legacy Linen, and I don't have the chart because I actually did this off my tablet. Yeah, and I just got a store-bought 12 by 12 frame from Hobby Lobby. You know, I would prefer to have them custom framed and framed a little tighter. At some point I may do that. But this one was pretty quick and just a few colors. So I did that. That's on 37 count. I think Koi Tassel maybe. And this one I showed before. Well, the next two I've shown before. So this is, oh, God, what's her name? Frances Graspie. And I did that one a while ago, a few years ago. I don't put my dates on them. I have it written down somewhere else, but not organized enough to. So this one, it's a favorite. I think I have the chart here. Well, I do, but I'm not organized enough to have it to pull right out. Of course not. Anyway, that chart's fun. I'll show you a chart in a minute. Let me see. See, now I'm all thrown off and disorganized. I wanted to say something about the charts. God. Get with it, Rachel. Nope. Oh, here we go. Okay, so if you've never bought one of these charts, They're kind of on the pricier end of charts, I would say. They're 25 to 35 bucks, let's say. So they are but they're worth every penny. So if you've ever passed on it for price, don't. A lot goes into these charts. I've said before that I pass on charts and get rid of them because I don't want them in my stash. But these are books, and these are not going to be passed on because they're just really well done. And I'll show you in some of the other charts. She thinks of every single detail in these booklets, right? So in her newer, not in her older ones, but her newer ones, there's a middle, you know, larger photo, which is nice for reference as you're stitching. So you don't just have to go off the front cover, which is smaller. There is a monster, oh, this book's falling apart. There is a monster amount of information she posts in here. I mean, a ton. There's a lot of work in here. In all of her charts, she'll have, I'm just going to show it because I know she shows it. There's a quote at the bottom. Usually, I love quotes, usually having to do with whatever the subject matter or the history of the girl is. She will have, like, you know, close-ups of details, really great pictures to help you with those specialty stitches. This one didn't have a lot of specialty stitches. I'll show you on another chart. And then she has 103 Soie d'Alger and DMC conversions on every chart. And one thing I'll say about her DMC, because I do them all in DMC, her DMC conversions, and I could be speaking out of turn, I think a lot of reproduction designers or people that do reproductions and match their threads either to the front or the back of a sampler when they're charting, a lot of them chart it in, you know, they use silk or they stitch with silk and they do that. And I think, could be wrong, but I've gone to do DMC and the conversion is not great. And I wonder if some designers just use a conversion chart and aren't actually matching the actual DMC to the threads that they're using in silk or to the chart. And hands across the sea, you can't tell the difference. I don't know, but I am guessing that they actually match the DMC. They don't just use a, you know, like a DMC thread chart and just, you know, they're not phoning it in. They are totally, you know, whatever thread you choose, it is spot on. And I don't know if it really matters. I think you just, with these, you use what you enjoy using and the amount of money you want to invest in it. Obviously, if you're using silk, it's going to be a pricier piece, but these are worth it for sure. These are pieces you'd pass on. You wouldn't dump them at Goodwill. Somebody else might, but which is okay too, because it'll end up in the hands of someone that appreciates it. So she also has really good, from 28 through 46 on this one. I wouldn't be surprised if she has 56. Her sizing on the size of the stitched piece, how much fat, I mean, there's every detail in here. And when I say she, there's more than one person at Hands Across the Sea, but I think because Nicola does the videos and announces the releases and stuff, we just tend to say it's Nicola Parkman. So, and I did sign up. I put on my Instagram, Hobby House is having a workshop with Nicola Parkman for a Scottish sampler in October. And I set my alarm and had my trigger finger going and I got a spot. So I will be going to that at Hobby House in October if anybody's going. Maybe I'll see you there. So I'll be driving. I know that for sure because I hate to fly. I will fly, but I hate to do it. So I think my 19-year-old's going to drive with me and shop and bum around or do whatever while she doesn't stitch. So she'll probably be going with me though. Or she said she will. Okay, so, that was the other thing. With this chart, this one had, okay, I'm all over the place. So Frances Graspie. This one I loved because I loved the colors. But she goes into, I loved the history she put in this. This goes into some of that, they do genealogy on them. So some of them, they'll know who these girls are, and some of them, the names are too common for them to actually figure out who the actual Stitcher was. So if they don't know who the Stitcher was, the history in the book is usually based on the time period or style of the sampler. So you'll get lots of like English history, Scottish, you know, wherever the chart came from, history of the time period and the place that it probably came from. So there, a lot of times there's a lot of like royal history in there, you know, which king was king and what was going on in the country, because most of them are English. Not all, but a lot of them are English. So if she doesn't know who the person is, there's a lot of info in there. And this one I found really interesting. Frances Graspies, they do know who she is. And so her info is in the chart, and she died during childbirth. And there's a few Hands Across the Sea charts where the girls passed in childbirth. And she kind of goes into the history, which I find fascinating, of the mortality rates and how women gave birth and what they were dying of, and how, you know, if you were giving birth at the time, what a dangerous thing it was, and sort of medicine back then, which I found really, really interesting. And she actually has that in a couple of charts. I don't know. So this is one to read. So yeah. Yeah, I liked the history on that one, and the colors and all the stuff. Okay, so the last one that I've actually finished, which I've shown before, is another little gem, Marianne Bournes. And I thought doing this video would make me, I have a frame for this, would make me, you know, frame it so I could show it again framed, but no. So that one was very quick. This is also a legacy linen. Don't know which one. Corn silk? Corn? I think I did this last time. Corn something. They got a corn. There's one with corn in the title. Corn tassel. Corn tassel? Should be corn silk, because I think I said that before. I think it's corn tassel. 37 count. So that's done. Last time I showed this one I had started on a whim, Eliza Knight. It's really pretty. Look at that. The middle flower is so cute. I haven't worked on this, but if you didn't watch the other one, I'll just show you what my little start was. Oop. I almost poked myself with the needle I have stuck in here. And this is 36 count Stars Hollow. No, Old Town Blend by R&R. I'm going to say Stars Hollow Blend is actually one of my favorite linen colors. Of all the dyers in all the land, that's one of my favorites. Okay, all of these I've shown before, but they're going to be together on this video. This one Ellen Chester's working on. If you're on Instagram, go to Needleworker Ellen, and she will get this done lightning quick. She's making good progress. This is Anna Sophia Bertram. This one is going to be amazing when it's done. I mean, amazing. Whoops. There's a lot of stitching in it, though. I mean, there's a lot. And I almost pulled it out this week to work on it because I really want to get it done, but it does take focus. It's not one. The border, you know, the fill-in on those flowers doesn't take a lot, but for the most part, you got to really pay attention. So I've got that done. That much. It's fun. I think when this one's going to be done, it's going to be right up there as one of my favorites. And, oh, there's something on my linen. That's nice. Looks like coffee. Not on the stitching. I'd be freaking out if that was the case. So that one will definitely get, you'll see that probably a lot this year, because that's high on my finish list. Okay. This one is Eliza Martha Lynnfoot. I don't remember if this was, I think this was one of the ones you could only get from like 3 stores. I mean, it's not out of print, but it's exclusive to certain shops. Hands Across the Sea sells it. Traditional, there's a stitch along. So I started that a while ago in the fall on, it is because I ordered it from Nicola. I ordered it from Hands Across the Sea. I started it on Brea. And that's all I have done. Still in, I shouldn't leave it in the hoop that long, but whatever. I'll iron it out. Oh, see, these middle pictures are good for this. So, I'm not in a hurry to get that one done. I'll work on it this year, but it's not one that excites me enough to really want to work on it all the time. It will. Okay, this one I definitely want to get done because this was a limited edition and you cannot buy it anymore, but I'm sure it'll show up again on a secondary market. This is Morrison. And there's a stitch along for this, which I think is over, and I have not finished it. This is 40 count cream Zweigart, and this is what I have done. And that's it. There's not a lot left. There's eyelet stitches. I got some of the eyelets done. There's a lot of eyelets in the bottom. The heart is that, there's eyelets down in here too. This stuff will all go pretty quick, but the eyelet hearts, and then there's more eyelet letters and stuff. All this in here is kind of, it's not slow, it's slower because you just got to do a lot more passes with your needle to get through it, but I like doing eyelets. And you can also do the Algerian eyelet, which is super quick. It's way quicker than doing a full eyelet. Now this one, I have been working. I started this maybe a year ago. And I didn't, well, last year at some point. And I haven't worked on it a ton. It doesn't have a middle. I don't have there's no middle thing. So this is Elizabeth Harding. Okay. And this one I did stitch a little of it on this week. Okay, it's 40 count cream. And it's big. There's not a lot of colors in it. Here. And that's what I have done. So, I don't want to dip in my coffee. So there's cream on it. I don't know if you can see. I decided to stick with the cream linen and the sort of, if you have it far away, you're not going to see it as good. But I kind of like that it shows, but it's very faint. So I debated darkening that cream color to make it show up a little more, but I think I kind of like it. I think I'm going to stick with the called for cream. There is this. Oh, that's what I was going to say about the Algerian eyelet. So all this is not stitched. Check, it's all Algerian eyelet, which goes lightning fast, I think. So that's a fun one. And yeah, I love on this one, look at the little checkerboard pathway and those flowers. There's a lot of over one, but this one's very pretty. So this will be worked on a lot this year. 40 count cream spider. Oop. Oop, oop. Okay, what other ones do I have started? Oh, Lordy. I know I have. Oh, okay. So one of my favorite ones that they've done, I'm going to have to do a restart. The reason I stopped on this is, I'll tell you. Okay, so it's Harriet Hartland. The color, oh man, this one is so good. This one is so good. It's got primary colors, red, yellow, blue, green. It is, oh, it's so pretty. It is so pretty. Okay, so this one I was really hot to trot when it came out. I ordered it from, I actually ordered it as a kit from Sassy Jacks. And they had it, they would do, I don't know if they still do, but they did their, they would have Hands Across the Sea sometime. Well, they had Hands Across the Sea with, you could buy linen and you could buy thread, so you could kind of buy it as a kit. So I really wanted to do this, and their linen that they suggested for it. Let's see, it was stitched on. I don't know. I don't know what this, I don't know what the model was stitched on. I can't find it. So Sassy Jacks had it on Silk Weaver, Golden, I think Golden Oats. So it is Zweigart. I waited a long time to get, that linen. I did, which is fine. So I got it. I started stitching. I was so excited to do this one. And okay, I got down to there. I've done some of the over one. Okay, but here's my problem. There's yellow flowers all over the border, and it completely blends in. And on this one, you know, like on Elizabeth Harding, I'm okay with that cream kind of blending in and being faded. This isn't that kind of sampler to me. So I don't know, it stopped me. You know, the outlining on some of this just blends right into the fabric. All the yellow blend, there's a lot of yellow in this, and it really blends in. And I don't want to get any farther. So I'm going to, which I wouldn't normally do, I'm going to change my fabric. To what? I don't know. Even this small amount is a lot of hours of work. But I'm going to have to pitch it, I think. I think that's the only way I can get back into this, because that's what kept stopping me, was the fabric's not right. So, I don't know. I'll have to play with that one, because I'd like to get back to that one. But that's what stopped me on that one. I just hate that I got that far into the over one and the border, and I mean, that border has like multiple passes on it. And I put a lot of work into that, and too much to pick out. Well, it's not a mistake. I'm not going to pick it out. Okay, so what else? What else? Ugh, 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 ugh. I don't know if I have any other starts. Okay, I'll just go over a couple. I'm not going to go over, okay, I have all of them. I have like all of these charts. There's only a couple I haven't bought, which I really know that I'm not going to stitch. So I can't show all of them. And some of these will pop up. I think I'm going to do some other theme videos, like Scottish samplers. I didn't bring those down because I think I might do a video with Scottish samplers that I have. Charts, nothing stitched. Yeah, there's a lot that Brenda and Laura showed that were the PDFs. I did not buy all of those. I'm kind of waiting to see which ones get released in booklet form because I'd rather have the booklet. I like the paper and they suck up so much ink that, you know, I want the book. So, but they are there in PDF if you want them. Okay, so last time I showed, this one is, I took them out of those dumb bags they come in, and I put them all in Ziploc bags. So this one's on the list for this year. Okay, let's do this. I love the checkerboard. I love the house. Oh man, I love this. This one had good history too. This one has a really interesting thing to read. Apparently the house on here is where they know who Anne Castle is, and that's actually where she lived, that she has this stitched. A black and white photo came with the sampler. It was at an auction house, but it had been passed through family, and just there's some really interesting family history on here, and she always puts little like nuggets of things that really appeal to me. She talked about, okay, so Anne died when she was 25, so she was young, and they talked about some of the other family members' history that they found. Oh, shoot, I think someone's here. Hang on. Okay, maybe not. Okay, so I don't know where I left off. I had to pause it. Okay, so one of the little tidbits she put in here was that people used to have, what did they call them? Coaching inns. She was talking about traveling in England and these coaching inns where if you were like on your stagecoach or traveling or whatever, you would stop. And I don't know why, it just stuck in my brain, but like if you had to stop to spend the night, strangers would share a bed. I think I saw that on, there's these British documentaries. You can find them on YouTube and stuff. Sometimes they play them on PBS, but there's a lot of them. And Lucy Worsley does these little kind of kitschy documentaries on life in different times in England and royal history and all that stuff. And she has done, years ago, she did like segments on like the history of, you know, bathrooms and medical stuff. And I think she had talked about that too in one of her videos. But it just, I don't know. I mean, I think Motel 6 is kind of gross sometimes. But can you imagine stopping and like hopping in bed with strangers? I'm not that tired. I would sleep in the coach. I would not be hopping on a straw bed with a bunch of strangers. So weird. But she talks about that in this. This one has really good history. So go ahead and read it. She explains it much better than I do. But those are the kinds of things that are in these books that I get a kick out of. So Anne Castle is on my list for, that one's going to be a start this year. Actually, really soon. If I can ever get to Joann's or Hobby Lobby or somewhere to get DMC, that's on my list to get. just so that I have it in case I ever want to start it. So I'm just going to kind of flip through these kind of like Brenda and Laura did. So this is Mary Snow. This one everybody and their brother is doing. This is Rose Ada Featherstone. That was an exclusive to Hobby House. I'm not sure if they have any left. They might, but they might not. This one I want to start. This one's Anne Oliver. These little spiral bound ones don't have the middle fold out piece. So these are some of my more favorite ones. This one I would love to start. Marianne Bournes. This was their first chart. I like all the dark colors in this. These earlier ones, she doesn't have quite as much history in them, and there's no middle fold out, but the charts are still fantastic. This is Sarah Borton. This is a good one to show you how she, this is an older one. All this right here is specialty, like freehand. And she charts it so well, you don't even ever have to have done it before. But look at these photos she has in here. Okay, so you've got all these close-ups. I mean, there's pages and pages of this. And then on freehand, I'm just going to show you the chart real quick. She has it charted out, so you really don't have, you could do the freehand yourself, but it is actually charted out stitch by stitch. So it is not hard, and she has diagrams on every type of stitch you need to do. This is English. Look at the little well and the little man. This one's, I'd say, medium size. Not huge, not small. That one's cool. This is Mary Wills. Oh, I'm going to open it. This is another one where this stitcher died in childbirth. If I remember right, she married a widower, kind of older, and died a year after they got married. This is a Quaker band sampler. I think she died like a year after they got married in childbirth. There's a lot of family history in this one, for sure. A lot about the Quakers in England and America. She's got a little American stuff in here. Yeah, so it does kind of go into a little tiny bit of her daughter that she gave birth to, who went to the Ackworth School. And, you know, the dangers of having children during this time. Every time I read these, it reminds me of Call the Midwife. Makes me kind of want to watch that show again. I find that show kind of interesting. This one is a Welsh sampler. This is Jane Bannister. Let me see. Yeah, I was going to say, this might be right around the time that she started adding those middle pictures. I love this one. This is a lot of stitching. I think, I think Emily C., Eclectic Possession, I think that's her Flosstube. I don't remember. I feel like she was doing this on a dark linen that she had dyed herself, which I really liked, kind of like a cocoa color. And so I think if I do that, I'm gonna be a coffee cat. I'm gonna copy her. I've seen a couple people do it on colored linen, and it just kind of pops. This one is Marianne Rag, which Brenda and Laura showed. They also come with this, which keeps falling out every time I show. They come with a... This one's very pretty. Pastoral scene in a red house. Again, can't go wrong. Ugh, I feel like this video is a mess because I'm kind of under the gun and I got a lot going on. This is Laura's favorite. This is Elizabeth Furness. I would say this is my #1 favorite of theirs too, which I have not started. And I'll be doing that in DMC. I think someone's here. Seriously, people. Okay, so I have to do a part 1 and a part 2 because I accidentally stopped my video. There's all kinds of stuff going on. I had to get a refill of my coffee. So I'm going to upload part 1 first, and this will be part 2. Yeah, so I was showing Hands Across the Sea. I'm only going to show a couple more. I just realized that last video is already an hour, which is good that I probably hit stop instead of pause because it'll be quicker to upload if I do it in 2 parts. So I'm going to show a couple more, and then I'm going to show my linen colors and get off of here. I don't have time to refilm all this from the beginning. This has just been a catastrophe today. So, okay, I showed a few. I tried to do it. Whatever. Okay, I'm going to zip through a couple more that are on my radar that I would like to do. Mary Locke. I like this one. It has a ton of satin stitches in it. And pretty colors. And a berry basket, which is my least favorite thing to stitch, although it's one of my favorite motifs in a sampler. And web. This one's pretty. Kind of a medium size. Jennifer Gilbert. This is a Cornish sampler. She goes into a lot of the history of Cornwall in that. Okay, I think this didn't. Oh, I've got the hiccups. I don't think this made it into the last part of my video before I got interrupted. So this will be the first Bristol that I start, and this is Hope and Love, Clara and Maud. This one, you'll have to go back and look at the historical documents for these girls are on her website. If you look at that pattern, there's a tab that has her the records they got from the orphanage, which is really interesting. And she found out, Nicola found information after she reproduced this and printed it on the death of Maud Pickernell, which is terribly sad. But she committed suicide by hopping in front of a train after her fiance had dumped her. She'd been out of work. I think she was a domestic worker. Very interesting, that article. She reads it, Nicola reads it in one of, I don't know what video. I know in the title it says some sad news. So go look. Otherwise, she does have that article about the death of Maud on her website that you can read, which I found fascinating and kind of made me want to stitch it even more. So that's my first, that will be my first Bristol that I do from Hands Across this. Well, from anybody. I haven't done one yet. This is Amy Can. There's no middle picture on this one. This is Greens and Pinks. I kind of like, they try to do different colors and different styles to kind of appeal to different people. I think this one is Welsh. And this came out the same time as Frances Graspies. This is Anne Roberts. You know, don't like those bags. Anne Roberts. And that one's not big either. This one I was really hot to trot on when it came out, and I just have never started it. And I have all of the DMC. don't think I showed this one. Mary Goodwin, 1798. That one's not real stitch heavy. Well, you know, for hands across the sea. This is Mary Carter. I kind of like this band sampler as well. I don't think I went into... I don't think that they have info on Mary Carter. See, here's another, you know, her stitch guides are really big and nice and easy to follow. This one, I have an antique sampler with this same border. Very similar border, which you never know, one day could become a chart. But that's the killer on this one. This is Elizabeth Weston. Look at that border. It's very pink, but anything with a checkerboard, this has the checkerboard leading up to, is that Solomon's Temple, maybe? Temple of Fame. Temple of Fame? I don't know if it's Solomon's Temple or the Temple of Fame. Yeah, that's what she has in here. That's what's interesting. There's just a lot of, I don't know. This one's fun. That one will be fun. And last but not least, I did start Sally Stansfield. I wouldn't say this is one of my favorites. It's not big. I don't not like it, but the red house is what appeals to me. Ooh. Ah, good. You know, today is not, it's not my day. Okay, this one I did, oh, it is 37 count corn tassel by Legacy Linens. So this is corn tassel. I don't know what their cream is. I don't know. So I started it. I just wasn't into it. This one's not a, I don't love butterflies. In nature, I like them, but I don't like them. I don't know. It's not a motif that's appealing to me. Okay, so this has been a cluster, you know what? Whatever, it's gonna be a long day. I have a mess here. Okay, so now I'm gonna show you my linens. I can't believe what a mess this is. This is a mess, whatever. I said I would do a video, and I'm doing a video. And I gotta remember to talk louder. Okay, so I have two new colors when I open for Needle and Flax Linens, when I open my inventory on Sunday, and I think I meant to mention before, there will be some colors and counts on there that I'm not going to have listed, and those are the things that I'm having supply issues with. So there's a few colors that I might not be adding for you to order, and definitely 32 count. I have some stuff dyed in 32 count, my darker colors. I can get my hands on 32 count. All my base linens are white, but I can use cream for some of my dark, you know, like Pickwick and Ticonderoga, Walnut Grove. Those are all darker colors, and using a cream as a base hasn't seemed to affect the color. So I can still do a couple of colors, but not many. Not many. All of my stuff gets dyed on white. So 32 count, I probably won't be allowing a lot of orders on that until I know. I don't know when the distributors are going to get it. So, and I have a lot of orders waiting on 32 count. Like I said, I have a little bit, so most orders are partially filled. I have a little bit dyed, but 32 count, it's a problem. So, yeah, so when I open back up, not everything will be available because I have orders sitting from, you know, the end of November and beginning of December that have 32 count, and I can't fill them. Which the people have said they'll wait, but I don't like those sitting there. So And if you are waiting and you want to switch your count or your color, just send me a message. So I did a poll on Instagram. What kind of colors do you want? Because I have a bunch of colors already done. You know, for upcoming releases or whatever. And I knew I wanted to do this video and dye some samples, bigger samples, because I test them on small pieces. Bigger samples for a release for when I open up my inventory on Sunday. And overwhelmingly, people wanted gray. I was a little surprised. Overwhelmingly, people want mottled or aged, which I kind of feel there's a difference. I feel like my color Brea is a little more aged, whereas an Atticus is mottled. Definitely the techniques are different that I use. And I had a few people say they just wanted sampler colors. So what I picked was, and you may see, now Brenda from Brenda and Laura, she has had an order sitting with me for a month. And this week hers was finished, and I did include my new colors for them as a gift. I don't want to hear it. If you don't like that I gave them a gift. I did a yard of each of the new colors and sent Brenda and Laura and Carol some as a thank you for making videos, because they don't get paid to do what they do. They're not promoting anything. And it was a gift for them. So if you see this show up on their videos, that's it. It's on their, they're the first ones to get it, just because I wanted to. Okay, so the first color is a gray mottled linen, and I hope this shows up. This is called Petoskey Stone. So it is a light gray. Let's see, this is a whole yard of it, so this one I did a couple yards of. The gray mottled that I already had it as a sample kind of had, I tend to lean into my green colors a bit when I'm dyeing. It was green. It was actually really cool. I still might end up doing it at some point. But I had to play with it this week a little bit to kind of get the color of, it kind of looks like marble. But it's very subtle. It's very subtle. So you could use it for samplers, or you could use it for a lot. This one, I don't know what the heck this color is. It's kind of beige, kind of yellow, kind of green. When I was dyeing this, I was thinking it would be good for Anne Grant, the sampler. Is it Anne Grant? Anne Dale, the Big and Beautiful one by Shakespeare's Peddler. I think that's done on Vintage Pear by Lakeside, which kind of has a greenish tinge, and the sampler has a lot of pinks and whites and stuff. And this color, I feel like, is a good substitute for Vintage Pear. But it's not as green. I'd say it's more, I don't know. And what did I call this one? Oh, this is Alcott. Like Louisa May Alcott. So you're not going to be able to see, you can't see the color. Just trust me, it's good. But it's a solid. I decided to do a solid. So it's a light, I don't know. I just ordered a, I didn't have a DMC color card with the actual threads on it. So that's the other thing I'm going to do, is I will match all of my linens to a DMC color, because I know a lot of people like that. They can pull their skein of DMC and see a tone of what my linen is. So I will do a DMC equivalent on all of my linens at some point. Hopefully soon. I don't know when that color card will get here, but other than that. So that's it. That's my two colors. And I'm going to get off this crazy train and go iron, and, you know, I'm going to be working all weekend. So that's it. I'll see if I can splice these two together. If not, I'm uploading them separately. So it'll be like an hour video and a 13-minute video. Number 1 and 2. We'll see if I'm crafty enough or techie enough to get them put together. So yeah, I think that's it. I know there's a lot more that I wanted to say, but I've got to stop this. I've got to get off here. That's it. So if you have any questions about your orders, or, you know, whatever. If you don't like what I said, I don't want to hear it. I can't please everyone. I love constructive criticism, but, you know, I'm trying to ward off the weirdos, okay? So if you're a weirdo, don't contact me. Everybody else, who's the majority of people, send me a message if you know, if you need anything, if you have questions, you know, I'm available all the time. So that's it. Hopefully I talked loud enough, and yeah, I'll be on again with another theme video. And follow my Instagram, Needle and Flax. And I'm constantly it's not the most thrilling Instagram, but I will constantly post updates on there. And you can also communicate with me through there. I don't have a Facebook, and I'm not getting a Facebook. I don't really like that forum. I love Instagram a lot more. So yeah, that's it. So until next time, bye.